Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Weissenburg, the city I've started during my last live streams, and now I want to continue this city as a series in City Skylines. So today we want to finish the city wall on the left side by placing the Straßburg gate, the Straßburger Tor, and also we want to fit in a new palace, the so-called Margaret's Palace. Before we get started with a description of the time-lapse of what you can see right now on the screen, I wanted to say that I've created a new channel logo and a new layout, which is already updated on YouTube and also on Twitter and Discord. So follow me there to stay updated about this series and other stuffs I do on City Skylines, and join the Discord server to discuss some things we do with City Skylines and to have some influence also on what I'm going to build in this series and also during the live streams. So I've started this city wall by placing the Lugo walls created by Armesto, and this gate I really liked, and I also added some stairs, and it's really realistic to have like those older buildings directly next to the wall and some gardens in between. So now I'm adding Titan's new gate, the so-called Brasov City Gate, or this Brasov Gate, I think it's the name. And a little fun fact or little thing I found funny. My first series, some of you have watched it, only last 3 episodes, but it was quite fun instead. And this series was based on the real city Brasov, or the name came from it, Kronstadt. So yeah, it was really nice to see Titan modeling an existing building of this city. The only problem I had when I tried this city tower or this city wall tower before was that the size of the gate was too small, so that 2 cars couldn't drive underneath it. So I decided to place the gate by Armesto and add the city gate by using procedural objects. And as you saw a few seconds ago, I had to remove some of the lower points of this gate to make it fit on top of this. So now I'm completing the wall by placing the other segments Armesto created, and I also added some older cannons on the towers and also a German flag. Hi guys, I'm back. I hope you liked the last couple of minutes with the music and also those in-between cinematics, an idea I saw on Press channel, and I wanted to add this in my new video style. And in the moment you can see me detailing the Margaret's Palace by adding some decals and also a little bit of like a park interior. And the reason why I did this green part was that the palace is built on a slope and we have some height issues, and so I flattened the whole park of the palace to one level, and on the side I will add some stairs in the old town. And also in front of the palace I added some stairs. So that's one thing which makes building on this map really difficult, the height difference. But on the other hand, this allows you some very nice screenshots, and yeah, it's just realistic that also on slopes people have built cities. They didn't just build on flat terrain. So now I'm placing some of those French buildings, and also this is one characteristic thing about this city. I will add European, German, French, also some Italian buildings by Amesto. Yeah. So time to leave you again and have fun with some music. So after you saw me adding like the props, the stairs and also the decals, here comes the tricky part. First of all, I realized that the stairs were a little bit too close on the building, and so I had to move it again. But now comes the part I was speaking about, adding real walkways for people so they actually walk. So what I'm doing right now is just adding some bridged raised vanilla footpaths, and created many nodes. So I really have like one node for every segment on the stair, because when you're placing just a straight path, the nodes will remove, and so now I'm moving the nodes closer to each other so they are placed on the place where they're meant to be, which was a little bit of try and error before I recorded this, but in the end the result was very good. So after every node was on their place, I just updated the paths to invisible paths, and maybe you will see later in the cinematics that actually people are walking and they aren't sunk in the ground because I just figured out where the node has to sit on the height. So now I'm removing some of those decals because I thought it was a little bit too bright and a little bit too similar looking. I don't know if if you know what I mean, but I just wanted to add a little bit of detail, and so I went for a little parking space, and I also used some line networks by Ronix because I want to save a little bit of props. And maybe you are asking right now why I don't stick the nodes together. That's because they glitch a little bit, so I placed separate segments to have really the line where I wanted to be, to surround this pavement to mark the parking space. So in the middle I went for 4 parking spaces, which are all filled because that's realistic for an European city. There's so less parking space. That's something different to American cities. And then I add some bus spaces for tourist buses. And that's what I did here. So now I'm working on this underground garage, and that's also a common thing in European cities, especially in old towns of European cities, because, as I mentioned before, you don't have as much parking space as in American cities. And yeah, city developers, they tried in the 50s until the last decade to create parking possibilities where they just could. So many cities build underground parking garages on larger places, for example in Heidelberg, or in other cities like in Mannheim, everywhere where like older structures were a little bit removed, or some segments were old and had to replace them, and so they built an underground garage and then built on top of it. So I tried to make a similar thing, and you can see me right now using actually a vanilla pillar, rhyme, vanilla pillar, and by using procedural objects I make this pillar fit well as an entrance of this underground garage. And a little detail, I really placed a parking lot and not just a tunnel entrance or something like this would also be possible. But I wanted to make a functional parking garage, and first I thought something like a glass roof where you can see the parked cars actually would be nice, but I removed this, and I will cover it up with buildings, which you will see in any minute. So now comes the fun part, filling in all those gaps in between the buildings, because you have in old towns like this very dense population, and even it's not high-rise buildings, but you have very dense buildings. And I also tried to mix in some modern buildings, like this tower, and the vanilla grass texture. Actually, it's a vanilla building. It's came along with the Green City DLC, I guess, and I really like it. It could be a modern office building or apartment building, maybe a hotel. And they went for this green design on the edge of this parking garage. And yeah, I covered up the vanilla grass tile by using the ploppable grass, because the vanilla texture was looking very awful. So now I'm adding like this plaza in, and I will also add buildings near the wall off camera. You will see them in any minute in the cinematics. So speaking about cinematics, the end of this episode is near around the corner. And I really hope you liked this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.